Hi everyone, welcome to Cinematica Animalia, a podcast that delves into the biology of movie monsters. My name is Sam Perrin, I'm an invasive ecologist, and this is our YouTube highlight of this week's episode. If you enjoy it, make sure you check out the full episode on any of your favourite podcast streaming services for a more in-depth look at our weekly creatures, or ecosystem, as well as additional segments on story, environmental news, and fun movie trivia. You can find all the links in the description below the video, or encoded backwards in the call of the barefaced go-away bird, whatever's easiest. Thanks for listening, supporting, and hopefully learning. I'll be honest, when I came back and watched this movie again, I was just like, let's pick, 2 or 3 beasties to focus on and just go through them in detail. But, my god, there's a lot of creatures in this one. And they're all pretty fun. There's obviously a couple that take center stage. I think the Niffler is first and foremost the one that we're supposed to fall in love with. It is very much the BB-8 or the Baby Yoda or another non-Star Wars related example.
The Perry the Platypus.
It looks a lot like a platypus, but the behavior is what makes it iconic, I think. And going and finding like shiny or colorful things is absolutely a trait in the animal kingdom, and it's most often associated with species that want to impress a female. Normally impress a female, but we have no idea how magical creatures work. This could be a female trying to impress a male. In any case, it's definitely trying to impress a member of the opposite sex. It has got a nest somewhere, and it is bringing all these shiny, nice objects back there to impress, let's say, a female in this case. There are incredible species that do this. So I think the best example are bowerbirds that you have plenty of in the Southern Hemisphere, lots in Australia. The satin bowerbird will specifically collect blue items. So in the past, like before humans came and, fucked up Australia, they would collect blue flowers, blue feathers from other birds, blue berries, that sort of thing. When humans came, all of a sudden they had access to plastic. And plastic is long-lasting and doesn't rot. So bowerbirds fucking love the plastic pollution crisis because it gives them access to things like milk bottles, Fanta tops, anything that is blue and plastic that will last forever because they don't have to go and collect shit anymore.
What about blue balls?
Yeah, they'll peck them right off you. They go looking for sexually frustrated men. Yeah. What I think is more impressive than these satin bowerbirds are the greater bowerbirds, which are capable of using forced perspective, which I think is amazing. So what they will do is bowers, which I haven't talked about yet. Bowers are essentially weird nests where they kind of create 2 rows of sticks sticking up out of the ground. So you have like a little corridor that they parade back and forth in.
It's incredible.
It's so complex. And what they can do is they will collect items and they will arrange the larger items further away from the front of the bower and smaller items towards the right next to the bower. And they will stand at the front of the bower. And because you have the large to small going away from the females who are standing in front of it, they're using forced perspective to appear larger, which blew my fucking mind that a bird can do that.
It's like art.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Would you say that they're the Lee Bowery birds?
I don't know who that is, but yes. Yes, I would.
Australian, shame on you.
But you say it's art, but I mean, that is a technique that mosaic artists apparently use. But we don't know how talented this Niffler is when it comes to graphic design. Perhaps he's doing something similar. Perhaps he's not. Perhaps he's a fucking idiot. We don't know.
He could just be like the very real creature of the dragon, which is known for its habits of just hoarding piles of gold to sleep in, like Scrooge McDuck. So, if nothing else, Niffler is Scrooge McDuck.
Moving on from the Niffler.
Bowtruckle.
This thing has a lot in common with like things like praying mantises, leaf katydids, stick insects.
Stick insects.
Yeah, apart from the fact it's got very front-facing human eyes. Like, it's very much been personified. And that doesn't help because if you're an insect, you need to be able to keep your eyes on a swivel, in some cases literally, to see around you. However, I guess these things are shown to be social in some sense, like they need a group bonding or a group dynamic, right?
Yes, there's some kind of social activity going on there. Newt always talks about, was it Flitwick? No, Flitwick is the professor. Pickett. So Pickett is bullied by the other ones, and this could be because he is a subordinate or an inferior competitor within the group. And so the other males, females, depending on what kind of social structure or even sex determination system they have within the species, are just keeping him out or keeping Pickett out. So
Yeah. But the social hierarchy also helps in the sense that they can use kind of sentries the way that meerkats do to warn each other of danger. They no longer have to have their eyes on the swivel because they've got a social hierarchy going.
that works, especially from the social aspect of it, but also the way they would just blend into any tree, you'd have a very hard time finding a bowtruckle. So I think that these forward-facing eyes speak to a predator, because you see those eyes in an organism that needs to be very good with hand-eye, hand-foot, hand-claw, or eye-claw coordination to be able to take down its prey. And an ambush predator has to be very good, because you get one shot.
Yeah, and apparently they're known to munch on smaller insects and woodlice. So that makes sense. And a group of bowtruckles is apparently called a branch.
A branch.
Yeah.
Are we sure that Eddie Redmayne isn't just a bowtruckle or like 500 bowtruckles in a suit? Because Eddie Redmayne and Pickett look very similar, I think.
Yeah. That might be why they never want to make direct eye contact, because he's just afraid that, or he, I guess in this case, they would be the correct pronoun. They, all 500 of them, would be afraid of getting found out.
Exactly.